Our next presenter is Jane Lee. So he's a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
Jane expressed her love for all that is alive through photography, journaling. She planned art and working with humans in various ways. What drives her is the desire to tell the story of how beautiful this life is in different and unique ways. Jane has been a wedding photographer for almost a decade and has witnessed numerous love stories and has repeatedly opened and knocked the heart. Her photographs are all about the organic, intangible moments that mostly attract non-traditional and creative individuals who share an appreciation for interesting surroundings, laughter and quiet moments. Since the world is changing and traveling is not as easy as it used to be, Jane has used this time to dive deeper and share her passion and knowledge based on experience with the world, plant art and journaling. For Jane, plant art is taking care of plants in a loving and nurturing way. She has been organizing workshops and sharing videos and tips on this topic since she owns 100+ home plants that live a contented life. Jane also offers workshops in creative journaling, which is a beautiful way to stay up to date with your inner world and at the same time build memory of what matters. Okay, Jane?
Thank you. So just back to this, like, what do you think of this image? It's very blurred.
Mysterious.
Okay. Dreamy. Okay. You said dreamy. Who said? Oh, okay. Sorry. Any other different point of view?
Feels a bit claustrophobic, like things are coming into the camera.
Wow. Okay. Any more?
I have a contrasting view. It's like freedom to me.
Huh?
It's like freedom to me.
Wow! Wow! I didn't even see that. Wow! Freedom.
Yeah, mine's very morbid. It's like sailing into aimlessness to nothing.
Walao, okay. Wow, you think too much already. Okay. Thank you for all your different kind of point of views. Very interesting. And also, thank you for having me, just to show you that this one was shot in film. I think HP 400. Yeah, like I don't know. Like, I know what film is this. So yeah, but I shot this in India on a moving boat. It was sunrise, so it was not very bright. I don't remember my setting. Maybe I burst it up. That's why it looks so grainy. But also because it's sunrise, very dark. And
which lake is that?
Huh?
Where is it?
Varanasi.
Right.
Yeah, if you go India, must go Varanasi. Like everywhere, every angle is your Photoshop.
See, that's where the morbidity comes from. That's where you take away your...
So I shot in different
right.
shots actually. So like just turned out like just very lucky the bird like just fall into same place.
Yeah.
Like just I was shocked when I came back and see the photo like wow, so nice. What's this? Oh, okay, got order This is not my iPad. That's why. Another one, right? A lot of money. So I prepared this yesterday. I don't know how to make I just don't want to sound too formal and look formal. I just want to make it fun and at first I just used one image only. Then like add more and more. Don't know why. It's like journaling to me. And I only got to I made this using good notes from iPad, which I just learned like a month ago. I don't know anything about tech, but I just like to take photos. So I'm Jane. My website is hellojane.com. I'm a wedding photographer, and next year it will be my 10-year shooting wedding portraits. My style, my wedding portraits are mostly like candid and very candid lah. I like candid stuff lah, and I like to play with emotions and their thoughts lah. So I like to dig into your mind, and it's very deep what I talk now. I don't know whether you understand or not, but I just like to capture everything like a journey. That's why I like journaling. So I've been journaling for like, actually since a kid lah. I used to have a diary. So just that last time we don't have so much of technology and money also, okay? You need to buy pen and everything. All this need money, okay? Like material lah, okay, I call it. So until recently, I have that time to do all this thing. So my life motto is, I'm a very YOLO person. Very, yeah, I'm very, I don't really care about what is the ending. It's just about the process that brings you to a person lah, to what you are. So whether it's good or bad, I just don't really care. I will tell myself it's just a process of growing up. Okay, so I just asked Lau to like share. I did a workshop. I'm a digital shooter when I shoot wedding, I shoot digitally. So this is just to show you what I did. From the previous workshop, we are a live couple. Hey, can you read louder? Oh my god. Louder. Can. Okay, can. So this is a real couple that I just did recently. A workshop. They thought they are just modeling for me. Actually, he's gonna propose to her. And I only tell the participant like 5 minutes before the actual proposal. So it's, for me, right, actually this couple are my wedding clients, which their wedding is next month, early next month. So how I actually get to know them, because not every couple like surprises. So I actually like dig their mind and get to know this person, whether this girl like or not surprises and all that. Actually, I only have 30 minutes talking, so I don't know I can share everything or not, but I'll just go through briefly. I kind of staged everything to make her surprised. But before this whole shoot, right, I told them, I prepped their mindset like, hey, it's just a shoot. And the name of my workshop call, very weird, it's called No Expectation Photography Workshop by Jane Lee. So I told everyone, because everyone's like, what name is this? So yeah, I just come without expectation. I told my participants also, I never write anything on the banner like just come without expectation. Then I tell my couple, just come and shoot without expectation. They're like, oh yeah, very happy, you know. They turned out so well, and when he proposed, right, she just like, and me, I so stressed because I need to keep that secret and take video and take photo at the same time. I'm the only one working there. No one's helping me. It's crazy. Next time I need to find someone to vlog for me and all that. So these are the participant video. I told them, hey, I put them one side. He's gonna propose. Like, make sure you take like let me do my job. Take some photos. So she just like burst like cry. So this is what my
electrify your metabolism.
YouTube is on my YouTube. Anyway, I don't know. So this is just a experiment that I really like to try on couples. Not every couples work on that. Not especially Chinese. They always hide their expression. Yeah. They very hide one. I like Malays. They are very easy to like. More expressive, is it? Yeah, I think so. Especially when they're nervous, it's very easy to trick them. I don't know, I felt that way lah. They are more expressive. Yeah, Chinese is just tahan because of the makeup very pretty and all that. I don't know. They want to spot, but she just like. I'm actually crying behind when I shot lah. But anyways, it's a very long video. You can see on my YouTube. I have a channel which is Jane the Crazy. You can just find for it. So back to this. Okay. So yeah, these are all the. It's just me lah. I just like go around the world and take photo and shop at the same time. So I'm a digital shooter, right? So I started film when I was little lah. My mom. This is my mom camera, by the way. It's 20 over years old. I just recently take them out and testing it. This is like third row inside. So later I will finish. There's 3 more shots. Later I take you all. So I just started back film on in 2017, which is this is my camera, AE Canon AE, which is like some dummy camera. Sorry, it's a very good camera. It's a good camera. So and then the same year I tested like Olympus. My friend like let me test like all the film one. I like film. I like it. I'm like overwhelmed with, because first thing you know to edit. Yeah, it's just whatever come up, that's it. I know to go through. It makes me really because digital different. You just so it's just a lot of shots, and after traveling, you still want to go through 100 shot of photos. It's very sian, you know. I mean, boring, you know. Like take times. So after shooting film, I shoot film when I travel, mostly travel. But now I'm forcing myself to shoot every day. Okay, I'm forcing. That's why I have one here. So yeah, it actually brings me to actually appreciate the shots even more. Okay, yeah, it's even because expensive also, and every shot you need to like seriously like make sure that's the one that okay take. But the first 2 years, right, I shoot like crazy. The film I just like no need money because the time was also quite cheap Okay, so it's quite cheaper than right now. It's like double the price. So in the same year, I tested a few cameras until the Leica M6, which is the rangefinder, that one. It has a light meter and TTL thing. So I'm a tech noob. I don't know all this thing one. I very blur one. So so I tested that until this is the time, right? No time. Until 2018 January, Taipusam. This happened. You know what's this? Very messy. It's like a comic. So I need to go India. Okay. But just before the trip to India, right, there's a Taipusam. So my group of photographer friends they're all more terror than me one. Okay. They know I thought I got M6 blah blah. Then I need to test shoot lah. But actually in 2017, 1 year before, I already shoot few shots lah, but all with the battery inside. So don't know why my friends suddenly tell me like, hey, you go India, make sure your battery inside the camera not spoiled, yeah. Because they said it will get fat, the battery inside. Okay, I'm like, huh? I never opened before since I bought it second hand. Okay, I never bought it before. Then you better make sure inside not melted, or then when you go India, because I'm going to India 2 weeks like that. So you better make sure you have extra battery. I'm like, what battery I'm using? I also don't know. So never mind. So I try to open the cap lah. I cannot open. So I sent it to someone who actually fixed camera, called Vincent, SS2 or something, PJ here. So he helped me open all. Then really fat already the battery. Because the previous, I bought it second hand. The previous user never do anything inside, so it bengkak. Lucky camera still can use. So okay lah, then okay, happy, change the battery, put new camera, but then go shoot Taipusam 1 day before going India. So I shoot lah like that. And then I didn't realize my cap being nicely closed tightly, and it just fell. Everything just fell. How to find? You know, like Batu Cave. Oh, people! I was there since in the morning, midnight. Not midnight, like before 7 AM, until this one like 10 AM already. It's like how to find? So happy, like so siao like what's this? It seems like multiple people see a lot of people It means so how it all started. So back to this book, right? I did not plan this at all. I always wanted to achieve something, but I just never planned to make a book at all. But I always journal lah, okay? So these are the few shots that I shot with the camera. I don't know the cap is still there or not. I just like sajap. So you know what? When the cap is gone, means no light meter. How to shoot? I don't know what is Sunny 16. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry, because I shoot digital all the time. I'm like, what is this? Next time I'm going India, how? No cap, there's a hole there. Okay. So, sorry, I look so angry, right? My expression very angry on the side.
No, so
Yeah. So,
go angrier.
so I don't care lah.
Yeah.
I still bring a camera, brought like a lot of rolls. My friend told me like, never mind, just shoot.
Yes.
until that time that when I go India, I'm like, shit lah. Actually, my plan was go there to shoot film. I've been to India before. This is my second time going there after 10 years. 10 years before I went before with my husband, the time boyfriend, now husband. So, I went anyway, shoot freely, blindly, don't know what is Sunny 16. So this is the first row, the first few shots where I arrived, Kolkata. Very lucky shot. This is it's a reflection actually. It's just one shot. It's just one shot. So it's very lucky. I'm very happy when I see it. It's like, eh, not bad So I use a Vista 400. If you guys want to know, roll 36 is I always track how many roll of film I use already. I try to shoot 100, but it's so hard. It's very hard. So this is the same guy. It's not just about photo, it's the process instead. So just want to tell you like the ini macam pun boleh. Yes, this is what happened. So that camera, because I went like away like 2 weeks like that, I just used a tape like just block it. So I came back, shot like I think 12 rolls, but I don't remember which film lab I dropped. You know, here or the other one, I don't know. But the photo came out so like that. So on and off, I actually went to India 4 times already. And then all this just now the shot, right? It was like 2018 and 2019 also went. So I produced this book during starting of pandemic. This is I think like February like that, but it launched on August, like near to Merdeka, which is just 2 years ago almost. Then it consists of all film shots except the journal flat lay lah. They're all digital. Except all these India shots are film. So yeah, that's it. I don't really have any experience with publishing books, which I don't mind learning. Then yeah, it's kind of like a journal, like the full process where how these shots were taken. And it's crazy, yeah, because how can someone actually produce a book during the pandemic? And my exhibition was also during the pandemic. No people there to come lah. So at Laika shop, and then yeah, so you really don't know what will happen if don't just YOLO, go with the flow. If not, if I never produce, if I never go to Thaipusam, if the cap never drop, I will never go India. If I didn't know I would shot 12 rolls, and then I go back India on and off again. So into film, and then came back and pandemic came, and I produced this book, and today I'm here. It's like you really don't know. You don't just try go with the flow. Whether of course starting will be like crap. Like actually this is a crap. Like it's not very nice. It's not very nice. See the sorry like. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it's very nice, but yeah, I'm still proud of my little first book ever. I published myself, not signed with any who because I don't know who to go to during pandemic. It's so crazy. I just like I just print and sell lah. So, but I finished already. Just recently lah, 2 years ago. Yeah. Hi.
Oh. we can take one.
Yeah. Okay.
Question because we wrapping up the session.
Okay.
Anyone want to ask Jane anything about?
Sorry. One more thing. I just want to say, just really you don't have expectation because I really went there to shoot 12 rolls. I don't know what the hell is like 60, but I still shoot anyway. So you really don't know. Just try, go it, do a flow, and see what will happen. Yeah. So this is what I tell my couple like that. Because usually they will just care about how they look. Like, this side very fat. It's like, no. Don't have expectation. You must enjoy. Let me shoot, okay? Like, they're like, okay. Yeah, that's my great client if they do that. Okay, sorry. Thank you. You guys have any question?
No. Anybody want to ask question to Jane? No? Right. Thank you so much, Jane. Our next presenter is Kelvin Mah. He's an independent photographer and videographer. His street photography uses non-traditional composition to tell a visual story. For Kelvin, creating images is not about documenting a particular time or place. It's about capturing what he can see and the way he feels about the moment itself. So he's going to talk about Spectator today, right?
Yeah.
His work on Spectator.
Hello everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Kelvin. So I published a book actually a year ago called Spectator. So it also resembles of me having a spectacles. So how it all started is I love to do street photography. I'm actually a graduate of mass comm background, major in broadcasting. I didn't learn much about photography, so a lot of things are things that I picked up along the way that I use phone or using a camera to shoot street photography. So it all started off using an iPhone, just basically walking around the street in KL and taking photographs. Another thing of how it sparks an idea for me is a form of escapism. I think many of you might be able to relate to that because we are Asian and we stay with our parents, and our parents sort of dictate what we want to do, what you should do. And it's sort of creating a pressure for me that I see photography as an outlet for me to release my inability to control things. So the idea of Spectator is a photo journey for me. I spend my hours between 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock photographing candid moments in the lives of people living and working in the city of KL. So it gives me a chance to roam around the city. It's sort of a city that I'm familiar with, but at the same time, if you don't go out and wanders around the street, it's sort of like an uncharted, unfamiliar territory for you. So it also allowed me to explore behind the buzz and the noisy, busy hours, what's left behind. So I believe my photographs could evoke emotions of a city that never sleeps, because in KL, within, be it like any hours, any moments, there are people doing things there. So reflecting the troubled mind of city dwellers like you and I, we work in the city itself. Also, I want to discover how audience find the connection with my photography and your connection with the city itself. Like, be it you go to the city to work, or you just go there to find, some fun things to do at night, go drinking, or you just want to go there and roam around just like me. So the story behind is that I have this obsession with night photography, as you can see from my past 2 slides. I always like to go out at night. That a normal job cannot satisfy my needs for creative freedoms, because I was a 9-to-5 job workers, and the only time that I can do things I truly like is after work. So it's always a thrilling, exciting moments for me to explore what's await for me out there. So it's also a cut away from the repetitive routine that I have. So right here, I can strongly recommend everyone, if you have not tried anything before, or you always have doubt that whether can I do it or can I not do it, I think you should just take a leap of faith and just do it. For me, this photo book itself is never intended. It's just a journey that I did in starting 2017 until 2020 during the pandemic. I just constantly go out at night between 7 to 11 taking random photographs, and then I put up a book itself. Yeah, so it's a simple joy that one can find in the mundane. So things that you can also find in the little sparks in your truly daily lives. I have 3 short videos that I did to promote the zine. So just watch it and maybe you can gauge some meanings out of it. Just give me a second. Okay, so this video is what I made to promote this book, and it's you can interpret it based on your own definition. For me, I separated into 3 videos based on ignorance, where you close your eyes, you just don't feel or think about what's going on around you. You live in your own bubble, just like how I did before this. And the middle video is where I rub my eyes. When you rub your eyes, you see sort of the things called phosphenes, where like a spark of lights that goes into your eyes. That's where you start to like, oh, accepting new ideas coming in, started to have empathy towards people. And then the third one is where you see things are more in a clearer state. You see people are always on the phones, they are always doing things very individualistic, they don't talk to each other. And it's sort of the world that we're living in right now. So this 3 videos sort of reflects the situation that I realized that, oh, I need to do something with my passion, which is my books. So these are some of the photographs that I featured in this book. And I was really honored to be one of the exhibitors for last year Exposure Plus Photo Festival as well. Thanks to Steven, Munira, and Stacy for picking me. Yeah. So if you like the photos and you want to see more, you feel free to check out this book called Spectators. Usually my photographs plays around the idea of light sources and people doing the most mundane things that you've never thought you would see on the street. Hence, the name of Spectators is I see it from afar without actually interrupting them, but at the same time documenting it. Yeah. Yeah, so any questions?
These are all iPhones.
No, these are shots by on DSLR. I use a Canon DSLR. Yeah. I think some of it I use 50mm lens and some of it I use 24mm lens. Just play around with these 2 lenses. Here's the result. Yeah. Yeah, so my photographs plays around like a lot of different light sources and people doing very mundane things, but at the same time, if you zoom into each and every photograph, you have your own interpretation to it. For example, this lady here, she was just sort of very sick of her mundane jobs, and she's holding probably a remote control watching TV, and hopefully her shift ends, you know, on time so she can go home and proceed with her job, with her lives. And this lady here, she was probably I think she could be a homeless, and at the same time she was holding a notepad, jotting down things. Either she wants to, you know, prevent herself from forgetting some things, or she wants to, you know, be prepared for something next for her. So a lot of stories that come from the photographs, depending on how you feel about it when you see it. Yeah, that's the whole ideas of the Photobooks Spectator. In terms of what's next for me, I actually at this moment I do not have any ideas whether should I do the same thing for my next book, because I do have a lot of photographies in my hard disk. Either I publish another Spectator, or I want to explore the idea of putting up a more sequenced zine of photo books. I'm yet to decide on that. So if you want to see more about my work, you can find me on 7-Eleven tonight or my personal Instagram just to review. Yeah, thank you so much.
Were there any dangerous places in KL that you didn't want to go? You felt like frightened?
I did encounter like a few occasions where I got threatened by people who wants me to delete the photos. But I also encountered a lot of like nice people, like this homeless guy. I spoke to him, I mean, get to know his experiences, and had a really friendly talk, but turned out that he wants me to give him money. So I gave him money, and in exchange I told him that I'll come back and find you to show you the photos that I shot of you the next time, which I did. And some of the photographs are like random people just looking into blank spaces. Some are cityscapes that I think it's a documentation of time. things that you see there that it might not be there anymore the next time, and saw this really random uncle standing in front of a pile of fire, which his expression also seems very angry, so it's like a reflection of that. And then some uncle sitting very lonely, looking at people playing pool. Maybe he wants to join, but he's too old for that. So it's like a thought in process. Yeah. So this idea sort of sparks my interest. Yeah, thinking what people might be thinking at that particular moment in time. At the same time, it just sort of reflects me being a person with a lot of empathy as well. So yeah. Any questions?
Did you consider shooting in daytime instead of nighttime?
I did few attempts on shooting during the daytime, but I find myself more comfortable doing it at night. And also the day in KL itself, during the day and during the night, it's totally different vibes and feel. I prefer doing it at night. Yeah.
Sorry, do you even consider to photograph KL 24 hours? Just one day, one day. From morning until night, one day, the whole day.
That's a really good idea that I've never thought of. I think it could be one of the really good ideas as well. Yeah, to do that. Yeah. So, if you like my book, you can buy it at Zontiga, and also you can buy it from a independent collective called Tokosu. It's owned by a lady called Sue, so she's really good. She helped me to sell my books as well, and also Zontiga. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Perspectiva is a collective, right? So they produce like Perspectiva Collective Design Volume 1. It's a collection of specially curated works selected by the council member of the collective itself. This design is intended to be a resource for learning, which each photograph dissected by its artist, so one may find insight and perhaps even inspiration. So yeah.
Alright, I guess we can start a bit first. Even though there's some slides there. But hi, my name is Daniel. This is Mizan Azlan. Edmund Liang, most of you know him. And we have Will here. So we're the council members of the Perspectiva Collective, and this is, as mentioned earlier, the photobook design that we put out. This is more of like a proof of concept for what we want to do. As mentioned, it's meant to be more resourceful, more of an academic look into our works, and like we try to get each photographer that's featured here to talk more in depth, not just like, oh, what setting did you use and all that, right? But we want them to describe the the artistic merits of how they may think of their work and all that. At least we try to. I think in the next round we do want to make sure that each artist says more, because we do find some photographers tend to have more of a larger vocabulary to describe their work, but some, like, I did have to help them. So basically, still waiting for the slides. Okay,
it's loading.
All right. So basically, there's actually 6 of us in the core council. I'm the starting member. And then the second person who came in was Will, is our second member. Oh, there you go. Hello, there you go. Okay, so these are our 6 members, all of them. So starting from the left to right is the order in which we came into the council. So starting from me, 051. So the designation 05 is just supposed to be a cheeky way of saying the 5th zone in the zone system, kind of like how Zontiga does it. So basically, we all have our specific areas in which we try to focus on in photography. So I focus more on portraits. Will here is focused on landscape photography. Mirzan, I call him a lifestyle photographer mostly because he just takes every photo under the sun. So he's kind of like our general photographer guy. Franklin Yip. Okay, so two of our members are actually not here because they're in another country right now. Franklin Yip is, we're all Malaysians, but Franklin Yip is currently based in New York City. So he's a large format, he says traditional portrait photographer, but I personally call him exactly a large format photographer because that's all he deals with. It's just 4x5 and 8x10 really. He does some medium format, but rarely. Of course, we have Edmund Leong here, our local street photographer here. And Nicholas Ho, he was supposed to come, but just 2 days ago on Friday, he left to study in the UK. So literally you just missed him by 2 days. So Nicholas is actually our latest addition to the group. We're looking to actually expand hopefully to 13 people at least for the core membership. And then everyone else will be more like people that we try to like work with in order to make sure that they can progress further. So let's move forward. Alright, so we got this a bit of a mission and vision. The mission of the Perspectiva Collective is that we're on a mission to drive in-depth artistic and technical analog photography knowledge by providing resources, inspiration, a platform and more. At least this is the goal, right? So we want to see photographers get better, as we believe that there are no secrets or like hacks in photography. As much as you go on TikTok and it's like 10 hacks to make your photography better, there's none of that. You just have to open a book or like search on YouTube and you find all this knowledge, right? And especially with analog photography, we notice as a group really that there's really nowhere like to go to ask like, hey, how do you do this? How do you fix a camera? How do you meter the light, and like how do you even interpret light in the first place for analog photography? Like how do you contact frame? Like yes, we have people like Jeffrey Lim who's teaching contact photography now. It's like he's done a few classes here. But other than that, it was like there's no real like online resource that people can just click and like, oh, okay, this is what I do, right? And next slide, please. Our vision is that we set our sights on a future in which we are capable of driving analog photography forward as an artistic medium that isn't just a hobby from a bygone era, right? We want to ensure that the future of analog photography isn't only made secure, but it is still ever evolving beyond us. Because maybe some of you have heard like Leica has plans to re-release the Leica M6 film camera. So, and we've had so many film stocks come out in the recent years, like the Vision 400D, is it?
Yeah.
And then like
ADOX color vision.
Yeah.
So much more.
Like things are slowly coming back, and I know it seems a bit weird, like for a group of young people like us. I'm only 29. To be talking about film photography, but like I think most people don't realize is that our childhood was basically all taken on film. That's all I could remember. Like if I flip through my childhood photos, it's all on Kodak Color Plus, or there's some video format photos there. So it's very much a return to what we remember. Like because as much as like I like digital, like we all like digital. Some of us still shoot it. This guy shoot it. Mostly. But it's just like we like the very much tactile, physical feel, right? It's like I developed my own film. Franklin develops his own film. So it's very much that moment of seeing your photograph come out of the tank after you're done agitating for like 20 minutes. Like, oh, okay, cool, I get a photo, I didn't screw up. Like, okay. So, moving on. So basically, we do have a website. It's perspectiva.my. Right now it's kind of bare bones because we just put it out there, but you can find all the information about us there. Eventually we'll start putting up articles there, videos, like we already have some articles planned, like currently Nicholas Ho is actually our youngest member, but he's the more research-oriented guy. What he's done is that he's been trying to figure out how to work with panoramas on 35mm in medium format cameras. So it's like he's been trying to figure out the exact measurements to get where you would put 3D print a back for, like, let's say the Mamiya RB67, right? Because like if you put it in there, there's a bit like you need to figure out like how many frames is it actually taking out and what's the ratio and all that. So he's managed to figure it out there, like a few, like it's quite math orientated, but you know when people look at that, at least you can, instead of just copying it without knowing what you're doing, you at least have a reference point from there, and people can start building on that knowledge. So we're trying to push things further beyond what we currently have, like So yeah, we have a website, we have an Instagram, and we have a Facebook page. What we currently do is that we look around, see if we find photographers that we like, because it's very much a collective in the sense that it's a tastemaker. Like if you're looking at Group F64 and Adams, right, or The School by Daido Moriyama, yeah, sorry. And or you're thinking even just Andy Warhol's The Factory, right? It's very much a tastemaker version. Like it's that they're always making things within a certain aesthetic, right? If you look at even like magazines like Vogue or Harper's Bazaar in the early days, they very much had a certain aesthetic that's still alive today. And I think like we're not too worried about us having maybe a different perspective. That is actually where the name comes from. But we just want to show what we like, you know, like, and the technical side is meant to be like an objective baseline where you can do whatever you want with that, and you interpret it creatively. Like the technical stuff is just meant to help you get to your creative vision. So if you want to find us, even the QR code works, so it's going to give you a link through for everything. So let's go forward. Do I have anything? Okay, so we have excerpts from the photo book. In fact, maybe we can move it around because I've only picked out like 5 excerpts from the photo book itself. So it's basically, the layout is basically photo and the description that the photographers themselves put, right? So Badrul gave me a really long description. I had to cut it down for him. So Badrul is a fashion photographer. He works very much commercial. He works with like honestly quite big brands. But some of you may recognize that model. She's what's her name? I forgot her name.
Is this Sleepy Lama?
Yeah, that's Sleepy. Yeah.
I don't know what her real name is.
Okay, that's Sleepy Lama on Instagram. But basically, she's one of the models from the Models Lab KL. So, but he very much tries to, he does have this kind of, if any of you are familiar with Irodon, I guess he does look at that, kind of maybe more of Irving Penn, where he's bringing in more of the set into the thing, where you get a sense of the life of these photographers and the model, right? It's not just a white backdrop and that's it, right? There is a bit of a element, because you can't run away from the fact that you know there are lights in the scene. Why are you hiding them? And like, so I guess that's one of the things that he's trying to do, right? In fact, what he does is basically, commercial work is all shot on digital, obviously, because you can see the digital camera there. But then he'll whip out like I think it's a Nikon F3, and then he'll shoot this stuff. So his description was this situation anomalous. So it's basically trying to deviate from the standard of what you expect from a fashion photo shoot. I guess the things here is that obviously it's more a mixture. What do you call that? Words are missing. It's a pastiche of like fashion items, right? You have the songko, and then you have this more masculine presenting top, and then suddenly it's the high heels. So I guess in a sense it is out of the ordinary. So you can read the original thing is written in Malay. I had to translate it for the English version because we tried to standardize it. Everything's in English just because, just to keep it clean. But there is some Japanese in there actually. So somewhere in there. Let's move forward. Thanks, Mizan. We also, one of the photographers we found is a photojournalist. He goes by Din Killer on Instagram, but his name is Muhammad Izzuddin Abdul Razak. So this was he did a photo series where he shot during the pandemic, right? Obviously, the chaos of the pandemic, where he was talking about how the rush of the adrenaline when the ambulance sirens blared in the distance, followed by the health workers bringing out COVID-19 patient out of his own home, just like yesterday. So it's very much, if you go to his Instagram, you'll see more of these, like these very people in hazmat suits trying to deal with it. It's like, because when COVID-19 hit, we all didn't know what to do. Like everyone was either you went out to document stuff, or you were scared at home sitting like watching TV. But I guess it was nice to see what was happening out there, and someone was out there actually documenting it, because so that we can hopefully in like 5-10 years we'll look back at this and say, we went through this. Oh my God. So we try to focus more on presenting Malaysians in design, but we do want to also not keep it completely in our own bubble of Malaysia. So Russell Banal is actually a photographer from the US. His was more of a description of like him just starting photography from nothing and just trying not to be too comfortable with it. So it's, I would consider him a fashion photographer as well. He does work with more, modern urban street brands and stuff like that. So tends to, I do like that he tends to work with more, he does tend to avoid the agency models because they tend to be a bit too clean for his taste. But he tends to like look, oh, okay, I don't like this. Like, can you give me someone that's completely new, like, if they had to come from an agency? So that's Russell's take on it. And our own Franklin Yip, who's currently in New York right now. So as I said, he deals completely with large format. And Franklin is basically the opposite of Russell, where he deals almost exclusively with agency models. Like these people tend to be from the same agency as who's that supermodel? I forgot her name. Sorry. Who's the one on America's Next Top Model who started that?
Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks. Yeah, sorry, names elude me. So yeah, so names are hard. Okay, so basically, yeah, and the thing with Franklin is that he's very much a close-up headshot photographer. Like he tends to not try to bring the camera out too much. He wants, like the whole reason he went to large format was that he told me he really just wanted the detail of a face. In fact, one of the things me and him tend to do is that we avoid retouching as much as possible. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't retouch this at all. Yeah, this is as if the negative was scanned, basically. Just moving the black point. But basically, our general idea, our general approach tends to be that we wanted to make sure that these people, these models, when they're looking back at the photos like 20 years down the road, they can 100% say that that was them, and there was like no retouching done on them. So they don't have to be like, hey, that was me, you know. Next. Okay, so Rico Lee is still a Malaysian photographer, but he actually does a lot of cosplay photography. But so this is actually the out there in his portfolio, and so he went to Japan and took a bunch of photos, and this was one that I told him, hey, this is nice, can we put it in? And it's like, so he gave me a description in very broken English actually. So I had I sat down with him to like write it down properly because I think that's another thing that we wanted to help because like personally my background is that I studied poetry for like 6-7 years. So that's my background is writing completely, and so I wanted to be a sort of stepping point to help photographers talk about their work. Like even Edmund's book, actually, every text you see in his book is actually written by me. So that's that. So I try to be like a free resource where people can come to me or come to everyone else, honestly, to find what they're usually doing, and then we can hopefully help each other. It's like, it's not to say that we're the ones who know what we're doing. It's more to say that we want to help. Like we want to make sure that you're progressing as much as you want to, and if we can help, we'll provide it. You just have to ask. That's really it. So is there anything else? Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
So that's a photo book. Hopefully we can do more on it. Do you have any questions for us? Yes, Mizan, Edmund.
So what's your aesthetic? What's Perspectiva's aesthetic?
So Perspectiva's aesthetic is very much, obviously completely analog, but it's very much an approach where we want to make sure that whatever we took in the camera is what we're showing. Yeah, it's like, it's a very, like, untouched. Yeah.
Honest, I think it's honest expression.
Yeah.
But do you allow like setting up sets and scenes?
Yeah, it's like obviously, yeah, like even admin who works with still photography sometimes poses his subjects, I know that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, yes, we allow that, but what we're looking at is that once you've taken the photo, you have to be okay with that. That's it. That's what you're dealing with, right? It's like, yeah, you can dodge and burn, but that's really as far as we go. We don't composite, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think any of us does composition. Yeah, compositing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, dodge and burn.
Yeah. So like the negative as far as we get, basically.
Do you see Perspectiva will open out?
Sorry, you're gonna have to talk louder. I'm actually hard of hearing.
Okay. Do you see Perspectiva will open up more women participation in the group? Or it's just a boys club?
Yes! I know. It's been a problem. We have been looking because there is someone that we've been eyeing to us, but she actually belongs to the group currently. So we don't want to have a conflict of interest, like or just have bad blood with other groups, right? And it's not so much that it needs to be exclusive, more that we just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by like, hey, you're taking away my person, right? Like, because there is very much, I think most people who hear me talking about it this way already knows who it is. But we've already discussed actually on like 2 possible people, women who are amazing photographers. In fact, I would say they're very much artists, like in the sense that they're thinking of it less about photography. It just happens that the final product is a photograph.
Who is that woman?
Say it. That was it.
So stay tuned for the next Perspectiva.
Yeah. That's it.
Will you be holding classes and workshops?
Yeah,
Will
that's
you
the
be
aim.
holding-
Yeah.
Okay.
Our aim in general, just to rumuskan what Emily was saying, is that we want to sort of be like a resource and also like a community where people can come over and reach out, sort of like what Zontiga is trying to push right now. From what we have been building, Perspectiva is very new. It's less than a year old, and we've just set up our website. This is our introduction to the world, pretty much. And through this, we really want to connect with Malaysian photographers. And as you said just now, yes, we will be expanding more towards women photographer, but the reason it's a boys club at the moment is just because it's who we know. Yeah. And as we get out there and as we have more exposure from the world, we really want Perspectiva to not just be a tastemaker, as he said, which is one of the things, but also a resource for us. Yeah. So don't worry, you guys can join Perspectiva down the road. we're just kicking it off right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think admittedly one of the problems I had is that I'm actually very reclusive. Like I'm very much in my own bubble world where I don't really go out. I kind of sit at home. Like I create, like in fact the whole reason I'm in photography is that I can sit in a dark room and just stay there. Like no one's gonna disturb me. Yeah.
Another thing that we noticed was that despite there being multiple labs here in KL, there's no space for analog photography. You know, an open dark room, an open studio, those kinds of things. Like there is the dark room in Johor, if I'm not mistaken, and then there's also Sanren up in Penang.
Yes.
But here in KL, all of them have closed down.
Oh.
Yeah. So there is currently a gap there, and we're seeing if that's something that we can fill in the future.
Fill it up.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe
We're
with some
actually
investment. Yeah.
looking into getting a place. I'm actually talking to the person, but the bank, for some reason, decided that they wanted to wait on giving the keys because Will told me apparently there was this moment where the interest rates on housing interest actually went up, so the bank purposely waited.
Yes.
Yeah.
It went up again, by the way.
But yeah, if anyone is interested in helping with that, do let us know because we are actually really serious about having analog photography space where everything that you could need is on site, like flashes, the chemicals to develop your film, the tanks, is all going to be there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to ask questions? Or maybe we can here's a question from the women's side.
Oh, it's very good.
No questions. Alright, thank you Perspectiva for the